Hello everyone, my name is Andrés Peralta and this is my partner Jessica Ochoa. And we're here to present a session about different web tools that you can use to develop and practice the vocabulary with your students in a collaborative way in different virtual environments. Please feel welcome and thank you for being here.
Hello with everyone. And before starting our presentation, we would like to share with you a little bit about the place where we work. We are English teachers at Universidad Nacional de Educación. This is in Ecuador, and we would like to share about this university because in our country, it is a very big and important project which looks to change our educational system and transform our society. So if you're coming to Ecuador, please visit us.
Okay, so before we start, it's important for us to have some thoughts to reflect about some important aspects about the necessity of using these web tools and apps with our students nowadays. Okay, why do we need to use these varieties and why is it necessary? So according to this, Prensky says that the emergence of new technological equipment, virtual environments, different educational software has created the generation of new learners that are called digital natives. And as we know, our students today have a lot of contact with technology, with their devices, with their cell phones, with their computers. So it is important for them to adapt and to include all these different devices in their educational process. Also, why is it important to practice and reinforce vocabulary? On this topic, Beck, Mackion, and Omanson describe the process of learning new vocabulary, okay? New words. So for our students to retain new words, new vocabulary, it is important for them to have more than one exposure because when they learn new words, they also have to know and retain different types of information. For example, the spelling of the words, the sound, what part of the speech it is. So only with one exposure, the students are now going to acquire that vocabulary. So it is important for us to reinforce the vocabulary as much as possible during our classes, either in a physical classroom or on online environments.
So thank you, Andres, for explaining why is it important to use these web tools nowadays. And also, how do digital tools help students practice vocabulary? So as Andres mentioned, students nowadays learn differently because they are digital natives. And also because of this situation that we're having now, we're forced to use digital tools. So we have to. Therefore, these digital tools or these multimedia will help us to enhance vocabulary learning because it can provide with textual, visual, graphical, auditory input, which will help students remember better vocabulary and to be also motivated to learn, so they can have a better learning experience in our online lessons. So that is why today we're going to present you some tools that will help you to achieve this goal in your online lessons. So hope you find them useful.
Okay, so the first tool that we have prepared for you is Google Jamboard. Google Jamboard is basically a digital whiteboard. Probably you are familiar with other whiteboards. Probably you have used them already in your classes. Probably you have already used Google Jamboard, some of you. So basically, why we have chosen Google Jamboard, because it is very easy to use. And since it is a Google product, you can link all these activities and collect them in your Google Drive. So it is so you can have an easier access to all the material that you have produced using this tool. Okay. So basically, what Google Jamboard is, as I told you, is a digital whiteboard, and you can create lessons, you can review content, you can create games, activities for your students, and it has a lot of different tools you can use. You can see here in this part. You can add text, you can draw, you can add sticky notes, you can add the different figures. And the important thing about this is that your students can also share and participate in real time. Since it is, as I told you, since it is a Google product, you just have to create one Jamboard and share the link with your students, and then they're going to access this tool, and then they can start adding things or participating depending on the activities in real time and collaboratively as well. So for this, we have prepared some ideas that probably you will find useful, and you can also practice with them and with your students. Okay, the first one is called Four Corners. It is similar to the activity that is done in the physical classroom. Basically, what Four Corners is you have some 4 topics or 4 questions about different topics, and your students go to all these corners and participate, give their opinions, share ideas. Okay, so this one is similar but adapted to the virtual reality that we are having right now. Okay, so this is the template that we are sharing with you right now. And we have chosen 4 different topics. The first one is weekend activities, the second is TV shows, the third food, and the last one clothes. All these topics were taken from one unit that we have worked with our students. So this was basically a form of reviewing the vocabulary that they have learned throughout the whole unit. Okay, so for this, the students have access, obviously, to the Jamboard, and using the different tools, specifically the sticky note tool, they can start adding their ideas, their vocabulary, what they remember, to the different sections of the chart. And at the end, you will come out with something like this. As you can see, it's very colorful. The students have the options to change the color of the sticky notes, make them bigger, smaller, drag them to the correct section of the chart. And when everything is finished, you as the teacher and together with your students, you can start checking all the vocabulary. If there is some misspelled word, or if there is a word that is not in the correct section, so you can also use this as an assessment tool as well. So just to know if your students have acquired the correct vocabulary. So that is the first idea for you. The second is called vocabulary cards. Also, this is an adaptation of what we have done in the physical classroom. Probably you have done this also with your students before. You have cards with a word in the middle, and then the students have to work describing the word, giving the definition, giving some characteristics, and the most important part, obviously, is give examples, so we can know that the students have actually learned how to use the word, and obviously non-examples with mistakes or how not to use those words. Okay, so for this, again, this is an example of a word that we have used in our classes with our students. So the word is speculate, and then working. That is important thing also. You can use these different activities with students to work individually, in pairs, in groups. So in this case, the students work in groups. You assign one board to one group, and you don't have to create different Jamboards or different shared documents for each group. The important and the good thing about Jamboard is that you can create different boards inside one shared document. So you just assign one board to one group, and those students focus and work on that board. Okay, and then after that you can start checking the work of the other other groups as well. So in this case, this group have worked on the definition. They can come out with the definition with their own words, or they can look up with a dictionary. They gave some characteristics of the word speculate. It is used as a verb, or probably the collocation sometimes that the words have. For example, speculate about, and some examples that they have come up with. So this is another idea, and after that, obviously, you can check with the rest of the class to see if the examples are good and the characteristics are correct, the definition is good as well. Okay.
Okay, so now I will also present two more ideas using Jamboard. As Andrés said, these are very interesting ideas that you can use in your online lessons. So this one is called the top 10 list. In this template, because Jamboard provides templates that you can use, or also you can create your own template. If you're so creative, you can just create your own template using the different tools that you have there. But this is just one template that you can use as well. And in this top 10 list, students are going to be able to choose their 10 top words, depending on a situation that you can provide them or an activity that you ask them to do. So what is it interesting about this top 10 list is that it's that you can add obviously the word, the vocabulary word. You can also ask students to add a picture, and also you ask students to give a reason why. So Andrés, can you please show us the example? Okay, so here we have an example that our students have created using this template from here. And if you can see, this was a situation that we created with our students. So the situation was the following. So we asked students if they go to the jungle, I mean, if they get lost in the jungle, which top 10 items they would need. So they decided on those 10 words. Some of them say the knife, water, matches, camp food, ropes. So it depends obviously on the students. And they also add a picture and add the reason why they chose that word from there. And this activity is also interesting because students can discuss if you're working, I mean, if they're working in teams, they can discuss which words to write there in the template, and this will also provide the students with a critical thinking here. So this is one example. Let's continue with another one. Okay, so I think everybody or every single teacher does brainstorming in their physical lessons. So we usually do it using our board, our whiteboard, and or using any chart paper. But here we can use actually this Jamboard instead of those materials that we are not able to use right now in our online lessons. So this is basically used in order to review vocabulary or that the students learn in previous lessons, for example. So you can just write there in the middle the name of the category or the topic, or even you can just add a picture there, and the students have to brainstorm different ideas related to that topic or to that picture that you have added there. So can you please show us, Andrés, an example? Thank you. So here we have an example that our students have done, our first level students. For example, here we just wrote nouns and verbs. So students go to nouns and just brainstorm different nouns. And also they saw verbs there and they just brainstorm and write using sticky notes as well. They just wrote their ideas. And here it is important to mention what Andrés said is that you can create different boards in the same document, so you don't have to share different links with your students, but just one link with different boards. And all these ideas were taken and adapted from Matt Miller. So if you see there in our presentation, that is the link. You can go to the link and you are going to find different templates, very wide variety of templates that you can use in your lessons. And it's not just for vocabulary, but also for other skills. And as I said before, also you can create your own templates according to what you need in your lessons. But as this workshop is focused on vocabulary, so we just chose the ones that you can get in vocabulary.
Okay, so that is about Jamboard. That is the first tool that we have presented. So I hope these ideas are getting useful for you.
Okay, so now we're going to see how to use Jamboard step by step. So what you have to do, also please, if you are using your laptops now at home, try to follow all the steps I'm doing so you can experience using Jamboard as well. Using the link we provided you, please copy the link into your browser and this page will appear. So this page is called Ditch That Textbook. It has a lot of different amazing ideas. So please, if you just go and look for more ideas there, you will find fantastic ideas. So, but today we're going to just focus on Jamboard. And in this page here, you have some tips on how to use Jamboard. You can go and read it. And at the bottom of the page, you will find the different templates. As I already told you, these templates can be used for different activities according to the purpose of your activity and also the purpose of your lesson. So you can go and just look at them if you have time or whenever you have time. But today we're going to go to this one that we already saw it. And this is sticky note brainstorming. So you go here where it says get this template and you just click here. And then this page will appear here. You have to do, or you have to go where it says make a copy. And remember that you're going to be able to use this if you have a Google account. So please don't forget that. So click on make a copy. And then here you have your Jamboard page. So also here you can change the name. Okay. So if you want to change the name, for example, here we can write class class 1. So you can use it easily in your account, in your Google account. Also here you have all the tools that we have already mentioned to you. You have a pen, you have an eraser. Here you have sticky notes. Here you can add image or images, text, figures, okay? So what is it important about Jamboard and what is it important for you to understand is that just using one link here, you can have different boards. So for example, this is board 1, 2, 3, 4, as many as you need it. Okay, so you don't need to create different links or pages. to use with different students or with different group of students. But you just can create different boards using the same link. And in order to share the link, okay, one more thing is if you have like here you have a very an empty template where you can use your creativity to create your own templates. So you can add figures here. You can add sticky notes, for example. So you can write here idea 1, and also you can change the color of the sticky notes. So this is very nice for students because they can change the colors of their sticky notes according to their likes. And then you can have save here. You can continue adding more sticky notes if you want. Okay, and you can just move it from different places. Okay, and you can make it bigger or smaller here. And finally, how to share the link with the students. It's very simple as to share any link in Google. You go here to share, change to anyone with a link. Here, please, it's important, instead of just letting to viewer, you have to go to editor so everybody can edit, especially your students. And you just copy the link here, and that's the link that you will share with your students. And the students will be able to work on all of these boards that you have created. Okay, so that's it, very simple and easy to use.
3, 2, 1. Okay, so our next tool is Pear Deck. So basically, Pear Deck is a platform where teachers can create a variety of lessons, different lessons, using Google Slides. And it has also different tools, so your presentations, your lessons are engaging for your students. But we're not going to focus on the presentation part of this site, but on the assessment tool or game that it has included, which is focused on practicing and reviewing vocabulary with our students, okay? So here on the main screen of the Pear Deck site, you have to go to this green section that is called Pear Deck Vocabulary, and that is going to take you to the game that is called Flashcard Factory. So here, for this one, you have obviously to log in with your Google account first, and you're going to create a vocabulary list. This vocabulary list is going to be stored in your Google Drive account as well. Okay, so for this, you have to create a vocabulary list. You have to enter the different terms that you and your students have practiced with, the students are familiar with. You can also include the definitions, and also you can use the included dictionary that the site provides, or you can come up with your own definitions depending on the level of your students, obviously, okay? So when you finish this vocabulary, when your vocabulary list is ready, you're going to play this with your students, this game with your students. Okay, so for this, after you create the vocabulary, the site is going to generate a code. Your students have to log in to join the game using their devices. It can be a laptop, it could be a cell phone, a tablet. They don't have any app, they just go to the browser, type the address there, and they have to join using the code that is generated. Obviously, the codes are different for each time that we play the game. So after that, the students are going to be separated in two groups, the day shift group and the night shift group, okay? And also, they are going to be put together in pairs, because they are going to work on creating flashcards on the different terms that you have created in your list in pairs. So one person is going to be in charge of giving the definition or writing an example sentence, and the other person is going to be in charge of drawing the definition or illustrating in some way the word that you have provided in your list. Okay, so they have to work together collaboratively for some time, and then when they are done with all the flashcards, they have to go to a quality control process. And this is the fun part, because everybody can see this, and they don't know which team the flashcard belongs to. Okay, so here they have to decide if the flashcards are correct, if the pictures are correct, if the sentences are correct. So they decide to give them points, and if the points can be awarded to any team. And this is very fun, and it's a very good way to practice vocabulary with students, and it's very engaging as well. And the students like it. At least in our experience, our students have loved practicing vocabulary this way.
Okay, so thank you, Andres, for explaining the last tool, Pear. So now we're going to Flippity, and to the first tool that we have explained to you, which was Jamboard. And Flippity is a site as well, which offers a wide range of options to create different activities using simply a Google spreadsheet. If you can see, you are going to find in Flippity, as you can see on the screen, you can find different templates, okay? But if you think that Flippity is difficult because it uses spreadsheets, no, don't worry, it's not difficult. It's very easy and simple to use. But for this workshop, I'm going just to show you a matching game, because as our workshop is about vocabulary, so we have chosen this matching game that you can use with your students. But as I said before, Flippity actually has many other options. So how about this matching cards game? How can you use it? You go to Flippity, and then you can create, or you use that template that I show you at the very beginning, and it allows you to create, or it gives you this template from here, where you have just to add the vocabulary words here in this space, and also you have to add the link of a picture. So the vocabulary word and the picture that matches that vocabulary word. That's the only thing you have to do. Once you have filled in all this spreadsheet, it depends on you. If you have 12 words, 20 words, or just 10 words, it depends on you, okay? So you add the vocabulary words that you wanted to work with your students, and the link of the picture of that word, okay, which matches. So if, for example, if you have book here, so you have to go and look for a picture of a book and just copy the link of the picture here. That's the only thing you have to do. Once you have filled on this spreadsheet template, this page or this site gives you a link, okay? So you go to that link and you can actually see this, okay? So this is the matching card game that you're going to show to your students, okay? And what is it interesting about this matching card game is that it has sound. So you can also practice pronunciation. You don't have to record your voice, but it automatically creates the sound of the words that you have added in the list before. Also, you can number the cards. So if you're playing with your students through, obviously through Zoom or any other online platform, you just say, Andrés, are you there? Can you tell me which 2 cards do you want to play with? So Andrés will say 1 and 6. So I will just choose those 2 cards. And it also has a timer. So it's your decision if you want to play this game in groups or in pairs or whatever you want, okay? So it's your decision. And this is how it looks like when students find the right word with the right picture, obviously, when they match. So here you have the word, and you can play the sound of the word, as I said before, in order to practice pronunciation. Also, you can send the link to your students, so students can practice at home, and they can play at home the game, and therefore they will practice the vocabulary you taught in class. So that's all about this matching card game. As you saw, it's simple, so you can go and please start using it.
Okay, so now I'm going to explain how to use Flippity. Remember that this site offers a wide variety of options on how to create very fun activities that you can use with your students and for you as a teacher as well. Okay, as you can see here, there are the different available options. You can create flashcards. You can create a quiz show game, a bingo game, the matching game that I'm going to explain in a moment. Board game. Well, a lot of different activities to use in your lessons, okay? Remember that this one uses just a Google spreadsheet, but that doesn't mean that this is going to be difficult to work with. Actually, the templates are very, very easy to use, okay? So what you have to do, you have to pick one of the activities. In this case, I'm going to explain the matching game activity because we are practicing vocabulary. You have three options here under each activity. You have the demo. You can see how it works, the instructions for you to edit and create your own templates, and obviously the template. So when you click on template, okay, similarly to what happened with Jamboard, a document is going to be generated. You have to make a copy, and this is going to be allocated or stored in your drive, in your Google Drive. So this is the document that is generated. Here you can change the name of your template, so it is easier for you to find it when browsing in your Drive folders. And as you can see here in this section, it's the words that you're going to practice with your students. Okay, you can use as many. Okay, you can use 10, 12, 13. It's up to you. And here you have two options. You can either have the same word to be matched, to be paired during the game, or as the template suggests, you can use pictures. So you can match the word with a picture. Okay, so for this you have to go on Google, look for related word of that picture, and then just copy the link here in this section. Okay. Something that is also nice about this activity is that it has audio. Okay, so when students flip the cards, and if it is a card with a word on it, the students are going to listen to the pronunciation of that word. Also, here you have different languages that makes this activity also very, very nice, very useful. Okay, so as you see, it's very easy to edit, and that is basically everything you have to do in your template. Okay, but before playing the game with your students, you have to do one more thing. Okay, and this is very important because if you skip this step, you won't be able to play the game with your students. So what you have to do now is go to File. You look for the option Publish to the Web. Click on Publish here, and you confirm first, and then you're going to get this link. So this is the link that you're going to use during your online lessons, or either you share with your students to practice for individual practice. That is up to you, okay? So you copy the link, you open a new tab, and you're going to get to the option that says Get the link here. This is the link again, click, and you're going to get the game. Okay, you have also some options here. You have a timer, you have numbers for your card. So if you're playing with the whole class and you pick one student to choose 2 cards, so it's easier for them. They can choose 8 and 16, for example. You see?
Black, yellow.
As simple as that. Okay, so that's basically what you have to do using Flippity, the Flippity templates. Try them for yourself, and I hope this is helpful for you. Okay, so our last tool here, it's probably you're familiar with this, is just to play Hangman. It's an online tool to create your own version of this game. It's very simple to use. Flippity, the one that we saw previously with Jessica, also has the option of creating a Hangman game, but I think this one is even easier and less complicated than the one from Flippity. In this case, you just go to the address that we're going to give you at the end of the presentation, handmadecreator.com, and you just enter the words that you want to practice your students with during this game, and submit, and then it automatically creates a Handmade game that you can play with your students. Basically, what we use this for is to practice the vocabulary, or probably as a warm-up activity before a new lesson, to refresh the vocabulary, probably before using the new vocabulary as well with words that they already know. What is also nice about this site is that if you don't have the time to create your own vocabulary list, your custom lists, it provides different categories that you can play with your students also. Depending on the ages, depending of topics, depending of subjects, it's up to you. But you know, sometimes the students wouldn't be so familiarized with this vocabulary. So it's better to create your own list of words. Okay, so that is basically everything of our workshop today. I hope that we hope that these ideas are useful for you. Try them. Here are the links to the different ideas, the templates that we have used during this presentation. And if you have any additional questions, there are our email addresses. And if you want to message us, to email us, asking for any additional information or questions.
Okay, thank you very much for listening to us, for your time, and also for your attention. So, as Andrés said, it was a pleasure for us to share these ideas that we hope you try them in your own online lessons. So if you try them, please let us know. We will be very happy to hear your stories about the activities that we just presented. And if you have any question, please let us know. We will be very glad to help you. Thank you, and see you.
Thank you.